Hello friends, how you doing? Pretty good? Great! Guess where I am right now? I'm here! Memory can never connect our dreams one with the other, or with the full course of our lives as it unites events which happen to us while we are awake. It is obviously possible that what we call waking life may be only an unusual and persistent nightmare. I do not believe it that I am now dreaming, but I cannot prove I am not. In Japanese culture, Hatsume is the first dream that one has in a new year. Traditionally, the content of such a dream would foretell the luck of the dreamer and ensuring the year. In Japan, the night of December 31st was often passed without sleeping. Thus, the Hatsume is often experienced during the night of January 1st. This is why the day after the night of the first dream. This day, as January 2nd, is a Gregorian calendar, but was different than the traditional Japanese calendar. It is considered to be particularly good luck to dreams of Mount Fuji, fog, and an eggplant. This very bit has been praised since the early 16,000, but there was various theories regarding the origins as to why this particular combination was considered to be auspicious. One theory suggested that this combination is lucky because Mount Fuji is Japan's highest mountain, indicated your plan will get full success. The fog is a clever, strong bird, symbol of emotion and success, and the word of eggplant suggested achieving something great business, social status, or career achievement accomplished in Japanese. Honestly, I have never ever dreamed this kind of luck items on my dreams that night. Usually dreamed someone fortune telling, so that we make to our current situation is not very satisfied or worried inside something's repeated calculation. Also said our inside. On the other hand, is a very important status and wealth. Oneiromancy, prophetic divination from dreams, considered a divine act in most ancient cultures and surviving to modern times in Southern folk traditions. Oneiromancy is based on the belief that dream is a message sent to the soul by gods or dead, most often as warnings. Have you ever experienced falling, fly through the sky and falling down? Dreamed of fortune-telling case analysis. Dream description is there is a scientific element to dreaming about fallings, and it has to do with what happened to our body as we slowly descend into dreamland. Essentially, our body can often experience something called a hypnic jerk. Hypnic jerk is a sleep start, sleep, twitch, or night start. It's an involuntary twitch, which argues that just as the person is beginning to fall asleep, which is that uncomfortable feelings when we are swaying between conscious and unconsciousness, and our body twitches we awake. This body twitch can give us a sensation of an abrupt fall, especially if it happens while we are closer to unconsciousness than consciousness. Some researchers have reported that people with a healthy ego are less likely to experience nightmares. The findings suggest that The strengths of one's ego could help explain the relationship between psychological distress and frightening dreams. Is it that individuals with stronger ego use more healthy defenses and perceptions that combat distress in day-to-day life, thus reducing the need to process and detoxify them during dream sleep? Actually, I have never talked with other people regarding about this kind of my nightmares dreamings. I very hesitate to tell someone. This is something I can't tell anyone. I don't want you to hate me. When I was a child, I often had a nightmare about putting out someone's eyeballs and then smash and crush it. When I have the plastic bags, that's really off-putting. I know this is gross, and you must be off-putting the weird. I don't know whose eyeballs. I know that kind of dreaming is a really turn off. People will be appalled. I didn't know these nightmares mean. I had someone's eyeballs with my hands and with plastic bag. The possibility that nightmares occur from something purposeful, inner workings of the mind, that we are not consciously aware of aimed at either processing or defending against stress or trauma, rather than simply a direct reaction to it. Regarding nightmare, the researcher was particularly interested in the concept of ego strength, meaning the ability to tolerate unpleasant emotions and adapt when facing self-threatening information. By having a strong ego strength, the individual feels that he or she can cope with the problem and find new ways of dealing with the struggles. Ego strengths as a mental state in the matrix of ourselves are also mental programs and so governs how we solve for things and perceive the information as we move through the world. As a rich and complex set of the embedded frames, our ego strength plays a significant role in the quality of our lives, in our skills for making a difference, and in our ability to effectively face reality. Ego strength can also be strengthened. We can develop a strong and more robust attitude about life. We can grow out of a childish, wishful thinkings that are fearful, insecure, and fragile, and develop a mindset about life on its own terms that gives us a robust motivation and optimistic attitude, and allows us to sign up for life. Certain uniformities are observed in waking life, while dreaming seems quite erratic, unpredictable. Since antiquity, dreams have been viewed as a source of divination, as a form of reality, as a curative force, and as an extension or adjunct of a waking state. Researchers are focused on effort to discover and describe a unique, complex biochemical and neuropsychological basis of dreamings. Psychoanalytic theorists emphasize the individual meaninglessness of dreams and their relation to personal hopes and fears. Other perspectives assert that dreams convey supernatural meanings, and some regard dreamings as nothing more than the normal activity of the nervous system. Such variety reflects the lack of any single, all-encompassing theory about the nature or purpose of dreams. In seeking the latent meanings of the dream, dreams thus represented another source of the free association and psychoanalysis. From listening to the association, the analyst was supposed to determine what the dream represented and pass through an understanding of the personal needs of the dreamers. Using this information, the analyst could help the patient overcome inhibitions that were identified through dream work. Night terror is associated with the most violent emotion and sleep. These experiences occur upon sudden arousal from what is otherwise the deepest stage of non-REM sleep and continue into a sustaining hallucination of being attacked, the cry of terror, and the motor escape from the imagined attacker is preceded by only a few seconds of autonomic arousal, more intense than is secret in waking. The cause is thought to be the loss of normal parasympathetic inhibition of the sympathetic system. There is some mechanism by which individuals with less ego strength try to manage big, overwhelming negative emotions during sleep by creating mini movies, a process described as concretization. After all, when awake, it's usually easier to manage a feeling if we use words, images, or some other representation to wrap our minds around. Given there seems to be continuity between waking life and dreams, why wouldn't our mind try to deal with a strong emotion using a similar process when asleep? They were apt to experience a burst of rapid eye movement, REM, under their closed eyelid, accompanied by a change in brain waves detected as an electrical pattern resembling that of an alert waking person. When subjects were awaked during REM, they reported vivid dreams. When lucid during non-REM sleep stage, they recalled the dreams. Subsequent systematic study confirmed that this relationship between them activated the brain waves, increased the brain activity, and dream recall. By contrast, emotions reported from REM sleep are most modest and tend not to awaken the sleeper or produce an autonomic response. The inhibitory afferent processes that protect the sleep during the REM period extended to the autonomic system. Reported emotions provide us with an index of the motives that are active during sleep. This index suggested that emotions are stronger in REM than in non-REM sleep, and that negative emotions are more prevalent than positive. Nevertheless, REM reported, especially in the early nights, sometimes described without emotion events during the waking state, would elicit a stronger emotional response. Weak ego strength describes a person's sense of self that doesn't easily face, take in, and cope with what is. Instead, it fights reality, hates it, and wishes it otherwise. Expectations are unrealistic and based in inadequate understandings. Reality seems too big, too frightening, too overwhelming, and so we avoided the encounter. In weak ego strengths, we don't feel up to the task but unresourceful, weak, fragile, unable to cope. The weaker the ego strength, the less we will engage the reality, and the more we will flee to superstition, magic thinkings, and wishing addictions. Strong ego strength describes the person who first accepts whatever is existing has raised his or her frustration tolerance, then looks at it and explores with a view of dealing with it, coping and mastering. With a strong ego strength, we do not personalize the things that happen in the world or what others say. We notice that we access it that necessary resources to deal with it. The stronger our ego strength grows, the more of the sense of self we develop, and the greater our sense of skills, resources, and ability to handle whatever comes. Ego strength refers to such things as a self-insight, self-awareness, ability to direct oneself in a self-controlled and autonomous manners, ability to regulate one's self-esteem, self-acceptance, and self-compassion, ability to emphasize it and understand other people, ability to differentiate the reality from delusions, and ability to regulate one's stress and emotions. The abstract nature of motives and the difficulty of determining whether a motive or emotion preceded a visual dream event or is elicited in response to it makes the study of motivation in sleep very difficult. Fortunately, an increased understanding of how the amygdala, medial, prefrontal, and frontal cortex represented goal or motive structured in a waking state provides us with a neurological basis for exploring how these structures may participate in the production of sleep mentation. These people can handle whatever life throws at them without losing their sense of self. People with good ego strength tend to be very resilient in the face of life's difficulties. Rather than giving up in the face of an obstacle, these individuals view such events as tasks to be mastered and overcome. Even when very difficult events or tragedies occur, those who possess ego strength are able to pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and move forward with a sense of optimism. Dreaming, a common and distinctive phenomenon of sleep, has throughout human history given rise to myriad beliefs, fears, and conjectures, both imaginative and experiential, regarding its mysterious nature. While any effort toward classification must be subject to inadequacy, beliefs about dreams nonetheless fall into various classifications that depend upon whether dreams are held to be reflections of reality, source of divination, curative experiences, or evidences of unconscious activity. Apparently, dreams are quite egocentric, with the dreamer perceiving themselves as a participant, though the presence of others is typically recalled. Seldom does the person remember an empty, unpopulated dream world. When it comes to mental well-being, ego strength is often used to describe an individual's ability to maintain their identity and sense of self in the face of pain, distress, and conflict. Researchers have also suggested that acquiring new defenses and coping mechanisms is an important component of ego strength. If ego is a self in contact with reality, then ego strength refers to the strength of our sense of self or a person to look in the face without keeping the in or being overwhelmed. Ego strength has a power, determination, or the ability to engage a reality for whatever we found it to be. This highlights ego strength as the ability to accept what is as existence and to use our cognitive behaviors, emotional and relational skills to deal with. Ego strength then in our ability to play the game of life according to whatever curves life throws at us. Ego strength also refers to the inner personal strength by which we tolerate stress and frustration. It allows us to deal with reality without falling back to infantile defense mechanisms. How to develop ego strength? Transform ourselves from an introverted, selfish, egocentric, and self-centered animals to an extroverted, selfless person. If you have something to say it loudly without fear. Don't fear people, love them instead. You can't fear what you love. Sincerely, be nice to people and practice what we preach. Don't be ignorant of current issues. Watch the news and read newspapers to stay up to date. Encourage and motivate people, improve our communication skills, and learn public speaking. Encourage other people to speak while they listen and show how much I appreciated what they have to say. Don't be a pessimist. Have charisma and give people hope. Display leadership qualities and lead by example. Take responsibility for mistakes and don't blame others. Help people and show them how to get out of tough situations. When you help people, don't expect anything in return. Dare to venture into the unknown and sometimes take people along with us. Accept the mistake and criticism and move on. Accept the failure, but never accept the defeat. Develop a never give up spirit, even when there is no evidence of success inside. Be quick to forgive and slow to anger. Anger is not a good sign, especially when we display it in the public eye. Always be yourself. Believe in yourself. Have self-esteem and self-confidence. Be cheerful and happy. Happiness is contagious. Smiling is the best way to transfer happiness. Always smile while talking, even on the phone, Zoom, Skype. When you are happy, everybody around there will start becoming happy. I will contact you as soon as I arrive at airport. See you soon. Take care. Have a nice day. Bye.